Do you think people really know what Kyle Shanahan wants at quarterback? I mean, he hasn't drafted that many.
Right. I don't think so is the easy answer, but I also think that there's this false narrative that's been kind of portrayed on Kyle Shanahan and kind of wrongfully pinning him into whatever he decided to do in 2017. So like, with the media, everybody was kind of the minute that it was kind of I guess, assured that the 49ers were going to go quarterback in unison. Everybody was like, oh, it's going to be Mac Jones because he's most like Kirk Cousins. He's most like, the quarterbacks that Shanahan has worked with in the past. But I think that that's just a false narrative and kind of intellectually lazy. And what I mean by that is they're all basing it off of what happened in 2017. And in 2017, obviously, that's the draft that Mahomes and Watson were there. And the thought process is that he passed on Mahomes and Watson because he wanted to go with Kirk Cousins, right? And I think that's just I think that's all revisionist history because if you look at what was going on in the league, it wasn't the same thing as what's going on right now in 2021. In 2015, the number one quarterback off the board was Jameis Winston. Right after him was Marcus Mariota, right? So Marcus Mariota was that first kind of mobile quarterback that was drafted high. And then by 2017, he was already looked at as a bust, being flaming out with the Titans.
That's true.
And, people were like, oh, a mobile quarterback that is a run-first option isn't going to work in the league, right? The year after that, it was, Jared Goff and Wentz were the first two quarterbacks off the board.
And Prescott slid.
Exactly. And both of those were both known for their strong arms and pocket presence and whatnot. Even in 2017, Mahomes went 10th, Watson went 12th, Mitch Trubisky was picked higher, and they didn't even play in 2017. Mahomes didn't play all year. Watson only played like 6 games. It wasn't until 2018 when they kind of blew up. And in 2018, still, Baker Mayfield was drafted before like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. It wasn't until really 2019 when Kyler Murray was the first pick over Daniel Jones and Dwayne Haskins, where now the league had evolved towards like a dual threat quarterback actually being somebody that could lead your team. So 2017,
somebody you'd want in the draft as opposed to someone that you would knock.
True.
Yeah.
True. And I think that everybody pins Shanahan like he was the only person on this island that was like no to Mahomes, when the actual opposite was true, where Andy Reid kind of was ahead of the curve, drafted up for Mahomes, seeing that is going to be the future of the league. And Andy Reid is a genius too. Like, it's not like Andy Reid isn't unique in his own way for seeing that and being like the quarterback whisperer there. So to go now in 2021 and seeing everything that he's seen, where Mahomes basically snatched the Super Bowl out of the hands of Kyle Shanahan with his unique play and all that kind of stuff, and then having to deal with Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson every single year, 4 times a year, and seeing what they're doing with their mobility, to act like he's still like, no, it's a pocket passer that we need. I think that's just, I mean, I got some snake oil to sell if people still think that he's just like, yo, we need Mac Jones because that's the quarterback we're going to win. I just don't believe it.
Well, I think you're absolutely right when you say that, like, how can you say, where's the evidence? How much evidence do you really have to point to say this is the kind of quarterback Kyle Shanahan would draft if he traded 3 first-round picks for a top 3 selection? He's never done it before. It's hard to say. He has said that, you just want an elite quarterback, and they come in all different, shapes and sizes and play all different styles. And the important thing is that you have one, and he doesn't have one.
Right.
So, but then where I feel like the skepticism comes in, and I share the skepticism. He'll say something like, he said it 2 weeks ago, like, I mean, of course, everyone's looking for Patrick Mahomes. Like, dude, you passed on Patrick Mahomes. So there was something about you 4 years ago that you were like, you know what, that's just not my kind of guy. Now, maybe you've changed, or maybe there were mitigating circumstances, but there's something about Kyle that I feel like his ego couldn't handle Patrick Mahomes or someone who is so good, like, and they get all the credit.
Okay.
Patrick, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
But it's
think
just,
I disagree because
that's just speculation.
who's Patrick Mahomes before Patrick Mahomes? Like
What do you mean?
who is the person that we could
Oh,
say Patrick Mahomes is like this player?
Aaron Rodgers.
Kind of, but Aaron Rodgers is really good, and he is a lot of what Patrick Mahomes is. But as far as like, and Aaron Rodgers dropped to end of the first round too, so it's not like it wasn't. It's not like the NFL brain trust was all on board with an Aaron Rodgers with a Patrick Mahomes, and
Right.
like that was the prototypical quarterback. I mean, there was 9 other teams that passed on Patrick Mahomes, and all 9 of those teams, I bet quarterback isn't better than Patrick Mahomes. So to say that like Kyle Shanahan was the main person that passed on Patrick Mahomes. Nobody knew that Patrick Mahomes was going to be as good as he was. He wasn't ever talked about as like the top quarterback in that draft. There wasn't all these pieces done on him during that draft, you know? And so like, it's all, we're looking back being like, how did you miss on that? Or you could have had that, but that happens all the time. Right. So I just think that it's unfair to be like, it's because Shanahan has a thing against a type against Patrick Mahomes. I think there wasn't a Patrick Mahomes. Now all the quarterbacks are coming out replicating the same skill set that a Patrick Mahomes has. Maybe not to the extent of Patrick Mahomes, obviously, because he's one of one. But I think now, and I think both of us were on the same page as far as we didn't think that he was even going to go for a rookie quarterback. We really think he was going after Deshaun Watson. So to go after Deshaun Watson and then settle for Mac Jones, to me, is like two opposites of extreme as far as what type of quarterbacks that you're looking for.
So before we move on to the next question, which quarterback do you think they are targeting?
I think it's between Fields and Lance, and I think he's probably leaning Fields just because Fields is probably ready to start day one, and I think that he wants to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Lance is more of like the Lynch pick because I think Lynch is okay with having Garoppolo there for another year, but I think Shanahan's ready to start, and it's either going to be, assuming that Wilson's pick 2 is going to be Justin Fields. I think.
What if Fields is pick 2? Real quick.
I think he'll go Wilson.
Okay. All right. Cool.